Yo, yo,
Hello. So,
how's it going?
good. I think we're nearly ready. Um,
Hello.
we have House of Boxing in the house, Meta Fight, Jonathan from Eyeball Games, and Jack from Infinite Victory. Is that correct? With,
That is.
That is correct. We have also,
Yes.
I think, a couple of more from our team, like Silas and James as well.
okay, cool. If they want to come up, they can request. We have had some late withdrawals due to I'm going to be honest with you, this took a lot of organising a lot more time than I thought, and I left it way too late for everyone. So I do appreciate everyone making the effort to come to this event. We're going to have another one exactly the same as this, but for the guys who didn't have enough time to prepare. So there's four other games that that were in the plans to come to this one. Probably makes sense to only have four at a time anyway, so you can get more time speaking and people can learn a little bit. We can go into a bit more depth about your game. Each of you can get more time to speak, so it's going to work out okay in the end, I think. So today, we have four games represented, building on immutable sports experiences for people who are fans of sports or playing games or just actual hobbies and things like that as well. So yeah, I thought it's a really good subject, and hearing a lot of feedback from talking with guests, with founders and that about their projects and how it improves, how blockchain improves the experience for the customers and fans. So yeah, I thought it was an interesting subject we could get into today. And thanks to all the guests for coming and listening. And yeah, we should have a good show for you. How are you going this morning, D'Souza? It's very bright and early for you.
Yes, sir. Doing all right. Just getting the boys ready for school. Excited to listen in on some updates from the great sports genre here on IMX, and looking forward to it.
Cool. So yeah, we also have some prizes going to be given out today. If you go and retweet the tweet that I requested in Twitter, and also follow all the the 5 games that's listed there, then you can be in the running for some of the prizes that are coming. 500 IMX tokens, as well as boosters from House of Boxing and Metafight. But yeah, so I guess we can start off now. To stop talking and we'll be more talking for the games now. So we will start off with Joanne. Is it Joanne from House of Boxing?
Hey guys, yes, it's me. How are you guys doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, good. Here it's 4 p.m. So I think we are in a much better time zone that both of you, Rubik and Jesus. So thank you for making the time as well from your side. I'm super excited to be here. For those ones who doesn't know us, we are House of Boxing. We are a boxing manager game, which is officially licensed by boxing promoters, and one of them is Queensberry, which is the largest boxing promoter in Europe. And yeah, we are literally we have already the alpha version of the boxing game live, and there are many more things coming up in the next few weeks, which we are activating right now. And so we are super excited about what is coming in the next few weeks. No.
Awesome.
Metafight, do you want to introduce yourself and use in your
Yep.
game?
Yep, of course. Hello, guys. So MetaFight is a platform designed to offer a unique and engaging experience for MMA fans, collectors, and gamers. The platform has three main components: card collection, gaming, and metaverse. For the card collection part, this aspect of MetaFight serves as a gamified collectible marketplace. The platform offers a wide variety of digital cards, each with its own rarity level to determine its value. Users can sell, buy, trade these digital assets on MetaFight marketplace. You can purchase card pack to uncover new cards, complete quests and achievements to earn rewards and live a real fun experience. For the gaming part, this is a really important aspect of MetaFight. It's an interactive trading card game where users can become a manager, MMA manager. Set up their team and fighters, compete to climb the leaderboard. And this component is designed to provide a competitive and entertaining way for users to use their cards and engage with other users in battles. And for the metaverse part, MetaFight is also developing this part, a virtual world where users can immerse themselves in sport content, connect with other users, attend events, and explore various activities and experiences related to sports. And for the game app features, you'll find several buildings, each with its own purpose: manager office, gym, shop, marketplace, etc. And then you can play and enjoy the game.
Awesome. And so we got next up Eyeball Games. Jonathan, how are you going? Do you introduce
Doing
yourself in the
great,
game?
thank you. Jonathan, based out of Singapore. Late evening here, 10:15 p.m. We're building Eyeball Pool. We're created by the original founders of 8-Ball Pool, which is a big mobile hit that some of you might have heard of. We're building a web3 pool game. It's a game also on mobile where you play the same game of billiards or pool, but with a very different objective of value creation and building up assets inside of each level and potentially taking them on chain when you hit certain key levels of these assets as collectibles. We have a bunch of in real life pool players as ambassadors, like Efrem Bata Reyes, who's one of the all-time highest decorated pool players, and we have an alpha version out already as a web version, and we're gearing up now to our phase 2 launch, which will be also a web version or a slimmed down version of our final game that we're shipping in Q2 or Q3 of 2024. So yeah, that's Eyeball Pool, and Eyeball Games is our company.
Awesome. Thanks. And finally, the new kid on the block, actually, Jack from Infinite Victory. You want to introduce yourself and end your game that just came out of sort of like semi-stealth recently, didn't it?
Yeah. We're go and let. So my name's Jack with Bit4i Game Studios, and we are really action high flying arcade style basketball game. So if you can like a mashup of like a fighting game like Street Fighter and NBA Jam. Special for us is we have athletes that come in from not just basketball but baseball, hockey, football, and soccer, and they all have sports specific dunks and super moves. A little about Bit4i. No, previously released in an NBA Ultimate and game studio ever to get the rights. There's NHL, national basketball, and the U.S. women's national. At them play basketball.
Hey Jack, do you you're Jack, you're kind of rugging. Do you have a possible better connection area that you get to when we can come back to?
Yeah, do that. I'll switch networks.
Perfect. I just don't want to. I don't want you to go through explaining everything and we only get like 2/3 of it. So
sorry, I thought that was my Aussie internet.
Okay, how's this? Is this better?
That's way better. Yep, got it.
Yeah. Okay, where did you guys
Woo!
lose me? Sorry about that.
Hey,
and I
you got to start
appreciate
again, man.
you stopping me.
You probably should
No,
go
it's fine.
again.
Yeah, just go ahead and start over, and we'll power through it.
All right, cool. Sorry about that. All right, so we're releasing Infinite Victory. It's an over-the-top, high-flying, arcade-style basketball game. It's kind of like a mashup of imagine like Street Fighter mashed with NBA Jam. And our special sauce is that we have athletes that cross over from basketball, baseball, hockey, football, and soccer, all to play basketball. Each of those sports, athletes have specific shots, dunks, jukes, super moves. History about our company, Bitfray, is we were the first studio to ever get rights from the NBA, the NFL players, MLB, NHL, WNBA, and the U.S. Women's National Team to cross over their athletes into other games. So we had released Ultimate Rivals The Rink, which was a NHL game, and Ultimate Rivals The Court, which was an NBA game. And all of those had all the players from all the big four leagues in the U.S. So you could have Gronk on your hockey team. You could have Alex Morgan on your basketball team. So with that launch, we were on Apple Arcade, and we just always knew that we wanted to reach a bigger audience and not be behind a paywall. So we pivoted, and we are now coming out with Infinite Victory. It will be on all platforms, and it will have. We are pre-announcement on what licenses we're going to have, how the NFTs are going to work. But we have announced the title, and we are in pre-registration for beta, and working really closely with IMX, and happy to be here and happy to be sharing the stage with these other great games.
Thanks, Jack. It's awesome. Yeah, I think you've generated a lot of interest in your game from just a short time. So I'll be personally following that one. Giving away my age a bit here, but I was a NBA Jam original player when I was a kid, so it was like I was addicted to that game. So I get those vibes from watching the video yesterday. But so yeah, interesting to follow it a little bit more.
We miss those days. We are stuck in a day of Sims, and we miss NHL '94, NBA, all those old games. It's just the fun of playing with your buddy on a couch and beating them.
Yep.
We miss it. So.
Okay, cool. So thanks for all your introductions. I guess the purpose of this is this spaces is to explain to fans how fans of sports can enjoy how these experiences can be enhanced by the blockchain. So starting off with House of Boxing, do you want to explain what how House of Boxing is trying to achieve that for their fans?
Yeah, sure. And by the way, you're super excited to be sharing the stage with all these amazing projects. Super excited about all of them, no? Which ultimately is what we are tapping, and the reason why we wanted to as well bring together all these different players into this stage, because I think all of us we're trying to solve kind of for the same problem, which is trying to bring sports fandom to the next level. From House of Boxing or even Etrolas, I founded Etrolas, which is the gaming studio behind House of Boxing, mainly because one main reason, I'm a sports enthusiast. I'm from Barcelona, and I'm a massive Football Club Barcelona fan, and so ever since I have been going to Camp Nou and so on, we've been it's been like a one love direction, let's say, where we were going. We were consuming all the products from Football Club Barcelona, and even my father has been like a long-term, hardcore, dying fan for Football Club Barcelona for over 50 years. And the thing that we face now is that even though we're putting all our love into all these clubs and athletes and so on, we don't see a kind of a return on that investment or that investing we're putting into that into the club or the athletes that we love. No, even like there's an anecdote where effectively my dad, when he lost his ID for Barcelona, he went to the office and they were like, "Oh, congratulations, you've been here for over 50 years," and they just like tap their shoulder and next member, please, no. And so
congrats, now pay us your dues.
Exactly. And so and my father, he was the one like jumping into the Camp Nou through the fences to try to watch a match when he didn't have any money, right? So putting like as much enthusiasm as possible to follow their team, no. And so we developed Etrolabs with that intention to solve that problem and use blockchain to have these tool of direction, where effectively by the fans and the users owning the in-game assets, the sports IPs and the athletes can actually know who is behind them, right? And so they can offer either gated access experiences or have some type of reward on a recurrent basis that can be exchangeable for the love of the fan, no? So whether it's giving access to experiences, cash rewards, meets and greets, either rewards in the same game, and so on. And so we developed House of Boxing with the intention to solve that issue for boxing fans. No? And so not only to solve that issue for boxing fans, but as well for the athletes. We have found that boxing is a massively fragmented market. And so the problem that most athletes have is that in order to be actually seen or even perceived by the boxing fandom, you need to actually become almost a world champion. No? And so House of Boxing was the intention to provide as well a platform for the athletes to get well known, to as well users be able to play with their own avatar, with the avatars of the boxers, and actually as well play on a global predictive game, which we have developed, which users can actually go and predict who is going to be the winner of that fight, even though it's not like a world champion fight or a world championship fight, but actually you can stake your coins behind that prediction and actually get to know that boxer and follow them. You know? And we use certain in-game assets such as boosters to get to know better.
And that's I just want to jump in there because like that's huge for boxing fans because as you mentioned, the fragmentation of the promotions and everything like that. That means that you don't necessarily get the greatest fighters all the time because they're always kind of forgive me, boxing for this best position for promotion. So being able to bring this type of thing to fans where the in-game assets, they're actually from the fights, correct?
Yes, exactly. They're like we're using the model of almost NBA Top Shot, where we have acquired the footage of Queensberry for the last 30 years, which we have footage from not only Mike Tyson, Tyson Fury, Ricky Hatton, but as well all of the other over 400 fights of all kinds, right? So from amateurs to world legends and so on. And we have fragmented on a round-by-round basis highlights that actually give you certain boosts and traits for each prediction. And so depending if that boxer is as well fighting a week, it can boost your prediction more or less, right? So yes, we're trying to, it's not like fantasy gaming where you're always aligning the best players, but you're aligning the traits of the players to your prediction. So you can get to know as well all type of boxers without needing to be a world champion.
Cool. Thanks for that, Joan. And so onto a similar sport, MetaFight. I'm a big boxing fan as well as a MMA fan, and watch the UFC religiously. And I've noticed some of the bigger names starting to become cards in the MetaFight as well. Do you want to talk to us about your plan for blockchain and fan engagement in your world?
Yep. So first of all, why the blockchain? Because it's a really different vision of an investment in a game. In the past, we all bought a game for a given sum, and no matter how long we spent on this game, the investment remained the same. We could resell the game for a fraction of the initial sum, but that's it. After that, we have the free-to-play games and in-app purchase models. This investment is increasing over the time, and nothing is recoverable since it cannot be resold. The model proposed by MetaFight and many other games in the blockchain tools results in I invest a certain sum in a game, I can resell it at any time. The prices fluctuate, of course, with the supply and the demand. That impacted by the development and reputation of the studio among others, we can eventually bring out all our investment. The sums involved can nevertheless represent a larger investment. And the second reason why the blockchain is, of course, the security of in-game assets. Indeed, where in the past account hacks were legion and could be difficult to fight due to the lack of resources and time, through the blockchain, the assets are on the one hand more secure and no longer protected only by an identifier and password, most often linked to an email address. MetaFight offers a game experience that can be more secure for an asset through increased security by using a ledger, for example. By connecting your ledger to your account, you can play without ever putting your assets at risk. The ledger would affect the fluidity of the gaming experience. That's no. From a Google, Instagram, Discord connection linked to an account, you can connect without having to validate any signature. Your Google, Instagram, Discord connection is not really compromised. The only thing the hacker could do is play with your assets. He can neither transfer them but he cannot sell them. That's why we chose to the blockchain. It also works with our ledger with a simple wallet. It's specified for maximum security.
Interesting. And what about the actual experience itself? Like what are the players or fans of MetaFight and MMA going to benefit from having blockchain?
For the fans, you mean?
Yeah, like the actual experience itself. How is the blockchain enhancing the experience that you've created?
That's interesting because this is actually a problem because of the mass adoption isn't here right now, of course, but we want to give a maximum good experience for users. That's why now you can connect with your email or your Discord and not from exclusively your wallet, because we know we want to reach a lot of people and not only blockchain specifically users,
Oh, yeah, cool. All right, thank you for that, MetaFight. On to something different now. So eyeball pool is less of the fantasy style of fandom, but more of a pool fanatical. And I've seen the people that follow eyeball pool; they're absolute pool fiends. So how are you planning on enhancing the experience with blockchain for your fans of the game of pool or billiards?
I think we're going to echo a little bit of what have been said previously, is that a lot of the values are of course one way in free-to-play games where players cannot extract values of their XP points or the assets that they build up, and they're always going to be stuck in the game, while as in our case, and it sounds like some of our peers in this space also is of course that we're sharing the ability of taking out assets onto the blockchain and potentially liquidate them, and of course the thesis is that players are willing to spend more and stay longer and so forth if they are able to extract parts of the values that they are investing in any kind of game. And I often use the analogy of sports equipment. If you're renting a snowboard for a weekend versus if you're buying it and you can sell it off on Craigslist or the equivalent, and at any point of time, of course, I'm willing to spend a bit more in that particular game if I can earn from my skill sets. So in our case, we are looking at the Q sticks. Q sticks are one of the big purchases in pool games. You build them, you upgrade them, and so forth. So that is the one of the assets that we have that are blockchain enabled. There might also be some tokens in the future that can potentially be won through winning that tournament. So it's a skill-based game. So winning tournaments of hundreds of thousands of players and rewarding these players, similar to the esport that we see in other type of games. So those are the two assets that we have that we are envisioning to be blockchain enabled. And again, it's about changing the focus of being able to purchase anything that you can and just progressing through the game to actually working these assets up and letting players define what the value should be of such assets before they are traded. And then of course the trading aspect is something that we from the web3 space are very, very familiar with, but from a web2 perspective, this is relatively new. We feel that is what's referred to as a meta game. It's going to be a game in the game where people are trying to stipulate which assets that they should be collecting and holding and versus potentially merging and burning in order to upgrade another asset. So those are the assets that we have that are blockchain enabled, and our thesis is that it's a win-win scenario for players that are investing in any sort of game if they can actually take ownership of some of these assets and take them on chain and control themselves when they are potentially liquidating those assets.
Awesome. I've got a fun fact for you. I grew up in a pub, like a hotel where where you serve beer in the country town of Australia, and all I had to do out there was play pool. So when I was 12 years old, I was watching the Pool World Championship, and there was this under 11s player that played and won the World Championship, and I was watching it going, I'd smoke that guy, absolutely smoke him. So just a little fun fact I thought I'd add there.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So you're
that's
saying
awesome.
do not play you in highball pool?
I peaked a little bit early in my pool career. I'm pretty garbage now, but
Right.
what you should take from that is that I was the real world champion of pool at age of 12. So yeah.
I'm
yeah.
jealous
So
that I didn't grow up in a pub.
So how's your drinking skills then?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, let's not get into that path.
Yeah. Next subject.
Yeah, next. But yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, so that was Metafight and House of Boxing experiences, with the collection of the players, fandom. Pool's more of the actual sport. No, sorry, eyeball pool is more about the sport and fans of playing the sport. Now, Infinite Victory sounds like it's a bit of a mix of both. You collect cards, you collect players from past and present, and play them in a sports arcade game. That sounds like, so we're kind of like rounding that out really, really nicely. Do you agree with that, Jack?
Yeah, it's wild because we're from the opposite end of the spectrum of eyeball games, and this is what's amazing about this new space is what it's doing for the game space. It's just awesome. So I mean, we're a Web2 studio, and we make fun, awesome, engaging Web2 games, and that's why to enter the Web3 space, we partnered really closely with IMX to help guide us through it. And the worst case scenario is if we were selling NFTs for nothing, if we were just trying to cash grab. Like for us, they need to be a deep, integral part and reason to be in the game. Like I look at we're at a changing point in the world. Like back when games went free to play. Like the difference of how things are changing now. That now, like I say, we are pre-announcements of any license and pre-announcements of how NFTs are going to work in the game. But you can imagine uh, owning players, building those players, and being able to then sell them. And so, like the difference of the free to play space, and then you actually own the assets. Like our time is what's valuable to us all. We all have a small amount of time that we can give to. There's so much entertainment out there. Like you have to pick and choose what you can give your time to, and the fact that you can own parts of these games and actually help. They won't just like take your and give you enjoyment, but you'll actually be able to, at some point, hopefully, if you work hard, profit off of them. Is it's just like it's the future, and it's really an awesome place to be. As far as
Yeah,
engagement,
I
yeah,
want
go
to
ahead.
jump in there for a second. Like I used to play Clash of Clans, and the building up of that base and then selling it used to happen illegally against the terms of service all the time. I was offered hundreds of times for my bases in that game, and a Saudi prince came in and instead of buying a base, just whacked down about $2 million and built and maxed out the base. So you've got different people that have got different amounts of times to give. Some people just don't want to spend 6 months and no money building up that base. They just want to get to the high end of the game and play now. And that's pretty what you described. Like that's describing the differences in people's time they've got to give and what they're willing to pay for to experience the game at the level they want to experience it in. So yeah, that was really pretty relevant for my lifetime of experience of playing games. Sorry, carry on with your next point.
No, completely. Like it's just it's a great new world that we're living in, and it's really exciting. And thank God it's moving so fast. I was gonna say player engagement. Like if you think about it, like sports is one of those things that brings us all together, um, and just the fantasy of idea of all right, like basketball is awesome, but what happens if I brought a hockey player in to play basketball? Like these are the things that the community loves to pick on each other about and like riff about. And so our whole thing is to embrace this community that we have, to have a great community, have a place for open dialogue of you know what sports we're all watching, what sports we're all loving, what teams we love, um, and then what it would be like to have those different teams go head to head in different sports. And yeah, it's really fun. It's really cool to just
Yeah,
not just be a
I
part of games,
I
but
just
of
had I just had one of my drafts for fantasy football, so I'm like already thinking of how I would draft a team if I had to draft from like every sport.
yeah, yeah, exactly. On our Discord, we have what's your 3-man like dream team, and yeah, it's like you have Muhammad Ali and like things like that on your. It's just I don't know.
It's a really unique take on. Like I never thought that. Well, knew about the Infinite Victory. 3-4 months ago, but had no idea about what was getting built. But when it came out, it was just like a aha moment. Like it's a really, really good idea to have an arcade game where there's no limit. There's no need for it to be all just basketball plays. And
Yeah,
one thing I'd like, if you can do it, it'd be really interesting, is if you can get location data on where the assets are, because I'm pretty certain that all the soccer players will be in Europe and all the baseball players will be in America.
complete 1,000%. And I am hooked on soccer. Like I am, I I love watching the Premier League. I love it's just yeah. I'm kind of bummed that in the States we have such a hard time calling football football, and we,
I'm from
Me
Australia,
too.
mate.
I'm a huge soccer fan, and so it really sucks for the U.S. trying to watch anything related to football over there. So
Yeah.
It seems like every year they're switching it on like where we can watch it, and then like we get something like, okay, we'll deal with it, and then the very next year it's changed again.
Well,
Gone.
well,
Yeah.
you guys cannot complain. Now you have the best player in history in the US. So
Yeah, and then every game that he plays in, the tickets are like $1,000, right? So that makes it fun.
well, I mean,
He's such a
every game
beautiful
he's doing a
man.
show. I mean, it's amazing. So
He's such a beautiful man. Can I say one thing? It's, I mean, if you think about like when we were children, like all of us remember those games that we watched or those fights that we watched that really changed our lives and like solidified. Like when I think of Mike Tyson when he used to box and like how quickly he would knock people out, it was just like, or Tiger Woods playing golf. Like when you watch that happen in real life, it changes your whole psyche and like what's possible in this world. And
I know
it's
watching
just,
Kobe in person was a life-changing event for sure.
you know,
exactly.
it sucks though that Mike Tyson knocked out people so quickly because we create moments out of his fight, and literally some fights are just one round, and so we just have
We couldn't enjoy it long enough.
Yeah, and so we have some fights from Mike Tyson and he, and it's like we have we just have like one moment per fight because he just knocks people out in one round. So it's insane.
So funny.
I genuinely feel sorry for people that just have that I don't understand sports thing. They're just missing out on so much. Like it's sports to me has been my life. I played nearly every sport, even basketball, even, like I've surfed, I've done literally every action sport I could possibly do. I ran with the bulls in Spain. Anything that to do with sports or action, I was involved with. And I just see those people that go, I don't get sport. I'm like, you're just missing out on life. It's the moments you, like you were saying, Jack, you just remember them forever, and they give you goosebumps when you think back at them sometimes. So, yeah, that's why I wanted to bring this together because I'm a massive sports fan, and
I mean,
appreciate it all the time.
My father-in-law ran with the Bulls, and he broke his ankle running with the Bulls, and I think it's his proudest moment in life. And he asked when he dies to be buried with his flag from running with the Bulls.
Wow. I think they're going to ban that soon, I'm pretty certain. It's been a lot of pressure on them, but it'll be a shame if they do because it's a history. But, I understand why people don't like that. But it was an experience I will never forget. They let these little bulls out when you got into the ring, and they would let people come up and like bow down in front of it, and the bull would run and jump over them. And I saw it happen 2 times in a row, and I went, "Oh, no worries, I'll do it as well." And I jumped up, I went up to do it as well, and they opened the gate, and this bull decided not to jump, started flicking people away, like that were lying down in front of them. And that's when I had the moment like, what am I doing? And I just jumped out of the ring. I was done. So, yeah, another life experience of mine. But yeah.
Yes, and we talk about, a lot about fighters, community players, but we tend to forget that the fighters they also need help because we are talking a lot about the player, the community, but we also want to change the vision of the fighters. Many fighters do not have financial resources to train properly. For example, with MetaFight, we help them to be able to focus on their career and bring them money with the royalties on the resale of their card. That's really important to say because we are talking a lot about about Mike Tyson, a lot of fighters that we dreamed about, but there is a lot of little fighters that needs help to achieve a good career.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so next stage is we've got a few people in the audience. I'm wondering if any of them have any questions for our founders or leads of the projects. Put your hands up now, and we'll take 2 questions maximum from each person. Please keep it to a minimum if you're giving an opinion. Otherwise, we'll cut you. It's more about we're asking questions from the founders that we've gathered here today. Yeah, if you could. Cool. I think we've got one wanting to speak now. So we'll invite up Tommy. Is that correct? There you go, Tommy. When you're ready, you can ask your question. Hello, you there? We'll bring Levon up, big House of Boxing fan. You able to speak, Levon?
Tommy, you're muted.
Is it me speaking now? Hello?
There we go.
Do you want me to speak
There
now?
we go. Yes, Tommy, go, mate.
Oh, hi. My name's Tommy. I'm a massive football fan. Like, if you're from America, that's soccer. I've grown up playing it for most of my life. Like, I'm 39 now. Still play every weekend. I'm slowing down a bit now because I used to play in the younger ones. So like, I play like So Rare and stuff like that. I just wondered if there's any football games coming to like Immutable or that side of it. I've only just jumped into the space, really. I'm a massive football fan, so that's why I just wanted to ask the founders if there's any football stuff.
You want to take this one, Joanne, or I could?
I mean, from our side, from Etherlast, by the way, great to see another football fan here. So like from our side, look, we are in touch with a bunch of like football competitions, and so we are actually in final conversations with one major football league to bring their free to play and Web3 exclusive fantasy game to life. And so this could come during the upcoming few months. But yeah, definitely football is a massive, so rare. It's obviously they have a very interesting value proposition. But our vision is more about like, hey, you actually love already, fantasy games, football fantasy games. Why you should change the way you interact with fantasy games in the first place, And so you should feel that it's a Web2 fun game, right? And then embed technology of blockchain behind the scenes, where then you can unlock value exchanges such as experiences with athletes, experiences to go to the stadiums, in real life rewards and so on. No, so we're in the works with some football competitions to bring a fantasy game to life in the upcoming year.
Cool, man.
Cool. There's two other projects.
Which leagues and which competitions are you talking about?
I mean, I would love to tell you, but I can tell you that it's it's in Europe. It's one of the main European leagues.
Tommy, there's two projects that are going to be on one's definitely on in 2 weeks' time. We're doing another one of these for 4 more projects on IMEX. That project, one of them is Martian Premier League. It's a football management game with a spin that you're on Mars with all these weird kind of stats. So it's kind of like a take on football with something different, kind of like Infinite Victory, where they're adding some spice into it. There's also a fandom kind of app called Green Park Sports that's on Immutable as well. That's their sporting league is La Liga. So you can
they have La Liga. They have they actually have esports as well. So they have Counter-Strike League, and they also have NBA.
And can I add, with any game that is on Immutable, the hardest part about getting into this space new is Web3 is really a head scratcher to get into when you start. Like, creating a wallet almost breaks your brain. Immutable with their passport has a really easy onboarding process, so that when you do want to get into games and play with NFTs, any of their games is the way to go. They're really ahead of the industry on ease of use. And we do have soccer players in our basketball game. Football players in our basketball game.
Forgot about that.
That's but yeah, IMX is going to be awesome for the low friction of getting into games and getting into NFTs.
Has that passport Immutable wallet come out yet?
No, it's not. It's out for builders building it into their game. It's not actually out for consumers to use yet.
Got it.
But,
cheers,
yeah, no worries. Cool, thanks, Tommy. Levon, you're up, mate. Big boxing fan.
Hey, thanks. I have one question for House of Boxing. When can we expect the auctions of Obsidian boosters, and for how long is the auction of one booster gonna last?
So great to see you, Levon, by the way. Kudos to Levon. But from so Obsidian auctions, which will be kind of the one-on-one moments of House of Boxing, will come in October, and will be auctioned. Like, we are preparing a surprise, but I'm gonna give you a quick hint here. But we are in a couple or 3 weeks, we'll be announcing what we call the Origins drop, and it will be the main. All the main fighters of House of Boxing will be coming alive, and so it will be an initial drop, but then the Obsidians will come right after with big auctions to some of the top fighters. So we'll be auctioning some moments of Mike Tyson, of Ricky Hatton, Prince Nassim. Well, great legends.
Wow, cool. Does anyone else, other speakers, want to have anything they want to add? Or sorry, did you have any more questions, Levon? Sorry, mate.
Yeah. I have a small suggestion since Fury and Gunner is coming late October. Maybe House of Boxing and Metafight could co-host a tournament and introduce their platforms to each other's user base. I think that could be very interesting.
I was thinking, dude, I like this guy. Levon, you're awesome. I was thinking the same damn thing.
Yeah, Levon is amazing. Like, we love, like, we have him in our team. Like, hey, Levon has said something. Let's hear him out. So, like, no, definitely an amazing idea. Like, I would love to sync in with Metafight and do some kind of event between boxing and MMA, and bring to life some party going on to fighter fans, in order to fight fans. So definitely, we would love to do some type of special event for that fight. It will be a massive fight.
Since you got great questions,
Yes,
Levon,
of course.
do you have any more?
Yep, we can discuss about it. It's a great idea. Nothing more to add that what he said. So we have to speak about it.
Hey, making sure before we go, I would be remiss to not say come to infinitevictory.com. We just opened our Discord. There's a ton of people in there already, and it's an exciting, friendly, good community to join. infinitevictory.com.
Cool. What about anyone else want to say how to get involved with their project?
Yeah, I would love to chime in here and say that we are excited to be quite new on the Immutable system, and ultimately launching on the CK as soon as it's available, and on mainnet. And before that, we have an exciting phase 2 mint coming up, where we're expanding the community to all the people on Immutable, giving people access to an early access pass that allows people to play player versus player tournaments and so forth. And for more information, you can find us on I see our Twitter profile is in there already, but follow that and join our Discord. And I see some familiar faces from the community that will take well care of you, and would love to have you guys.
Cool. What about Metafight? You got any message around how to join you guys?
Yeah, so you can join us on the Discord, Metafight, and all of our social networks, Instagram, Twitter, and then just try the game, and you will see you will enjoy it. Of course, it's easy to onboard. So let's join Metafight.com.
Cool. And Joanne, you got lots happening coming up as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, houseofboxing.com. So, like, we are literally, last week we opened up the pro tournament with 100K up to 100K dollars in rewards every week. is based on the number of users coming into a pro tournament. So spread the word. The more people we get in, the more rewards for everyone. And we are just getting started. Literally, like we started actually activating the product a couple of weeks ago, and we're having a massive, we're seeing a massive increase in the user base, in the community. It's thriving. We have amazing members like Levon helping us build the product, and so during the next month we'll be having the Origins drop, which will be featuring the main some of the amazing legends of boxing, and we'll be having some surprises with the legends themselves, and we'll be onboarding as well athletes on an ongoing basis. So stay tuned, and yeah, connect with us.
Cool.
If you're a sports fan, do not sleep on these projects for Immutable. That's for sure.
Yep. So we've got some giveaways to give away. If there's anyone else wants to ask any more questions, we've got more time, so you can put your hand up. Here we go. We've got someone potentially. That's Dr. Bitstein. I've accepted you. Ask your questions, mate. Is it working? There we go. Just take yourself off mute, mate, when you're ready, and ask your question, Dr. Bitstein.
Oh, hey, good morning, GM. I had a question, I guess, really for everyone, which was historically, Web3 integrations have not been received well by kind of mainstream gamer audiences. I was wondering if any of you guys or girls have any thoughts about, if you've had any pushback about that, or if you have any thoughts about kind of marketing, if that's something you're just kind of keeping, not kind of emphasizing in the marketing, because it looks like, from what I've seen, the games look like really good games, period. So I think that's probably the best way to go personally, but curious for your thoughts about that.
I would love to chime in on that. I think that, as everyone know, the first generation of Web3 games, they were gated. They put the friction too early in the experience, and they didn't move the onboarding of becoming Web3 far enough, far down in the experience. It needs to be when it's relevant for the player. So in our case, we are looking at putting it where when people are actually first moving it on chain to set up your wallets and things like that. That it needs to be very, very far back for a casual Web2 player to be able to see the benefit in this. It needs to be a win-win situation. So that's our 2 cents.
Yeah, and to add to that, with the Immutable wallet passport that's coming out, it allows users to just use something they're used to, which is their email or their Apple ID or Google login, to manage those in-game assets as well.
Yeah, and from our point of view, like we're coming at it as, if you want to play, if you're a Web2 gamer and you want to stay a Web2 gamer, if you don't want to jump into the Web3 space, you're fine to play the game, and you can get as much fun and excitement out of the game. But if, like, our thing is not to require Web3 adoption, it's to inspire it. We want people to say, okay, we're having a great time in this game, and I'm playing with these characters, but if I actually bought one and built them, I could have a better experience, and I can build them and actually like make money myself. Yeah, so that's our thing is don't force it, just make a great game and have it an option, and have that IMX passport experience that is a frictionless, easy to log in thing. So we're looking to make it easy, and the fun game will take care of the rest.
I completely agree with you, Jack, and with the rest of you guys. Like, actually, we have been like working on our prototype for the last 7-8 months already, and the first feedback that we had from boxing fans was like, we hate blockchain and MetaMask and so on. Like, just give us experience and that's it, right? Like, they don't want to be bothered with like blockchain or anything, right? So literally, while we're waiting for IMX passport to get rolled out and so on, we integrated Web3 auth, which if you go now and sign up into House of Boxing, you will see that it literally is like a Web2 integrate, like a Web2 login or register process. Just put your SSL, your Google account, and just log in and just start playing for free. And that's it. Like you will not even realize that you are like playing with blockchain, right? And so I think it's an ethos that you guys have been saying all the time, which is like we're free to play gaming studio, which uses blockchain to enhance the user experience, but we are not a blockchain gaming studio itself, right? If that makes sense. So we just want to make sure that it's mainstream adoption, it's frictionless and fun first at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'd like to add to that as well. Sorry, go Metafy.
Yes, that's a good question. That's why we really wanted to focus on making it easier to register on Metafy. And to reach a larger audience, we also do talk shows every Wednesday evening on Instagram Live with professional fighters. We have giveaways during this show, and it helps us to reach a wider audience, and not exclusively Web3 audience.
Yeah. So to anyone in the audience, people may not know this. The difference between Passport and Web3 Auth and all the other options, Sequence, Hyperplay, there's like heaps of them coming. They're rolling out all these social logins. Is there'll be one login for House of Boxing, Metafight, Infinite Victory, and Eyeball Pool. You'll log in one time with one account with one password. Well, you don't even have a password. It's just log in with email or Google or Apple. And you won't need it's a user authentication system as well as a wallet. Or the wallet happens in the background. If you want to sell an NFT, you don't need to, you log on to Token Trove or the IMX main site, and you can use that same login to sell all your NFTs at the same time from all the games. So it's creating this ecosystem of shared benefit because of this. Everyone's going to benefit from it, not just the people that are able to code in the Web3 auth like House of Boxing has. So it's a massive game changer on top of what already is out there. Because of that Apple-like ecosystem it's building.
And to top it off, you have the global order book for all of the marketplaces. So you list on one and it's listed on all.
Yeah. List your item NFT on one marketplace. You can the purchaser can buy it on any marketplace. It's an API driven listing. It's not it's not like OpenSea that gets their own contract, stores up your NFT in their contract and puts it up for sale. It's actually a global API, and 50% of NFTs sold on Immutable on Immutable are bought from a non-origin listed NFT marketplace. So if they list on Token Trove, it's bought 50% of the time. It's bought on a different marketplace. So yeah, the games are all going to benefit from that, and they already are benefiting from that. But when Passport comes out live, it's really going to create a very easy onboarding experience for all of these games. Cool. Tommy had another question. I liked his first question. So did you want to ask another one, mate? Go for it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me up again. Kudos to Robbie Ferguson or whoever it was that came out with the Immutable Passport. It's an absolutely legendary idea, and it's a game changer, really. I've got a quick question for you, Rubik. Did you used to be like the main guy for GOG or one of the people for GOG, Guild of Guardians?
I've been involved in it from the very start. I spent a stupid amount of money on their NFTs, so I'm still there.
Is your name Nick?
Sorry?
Is your name Nick?
No, Nick. That's not. No, Nick's about still. It's not. But yeah, no, I'm not employed by Immutable, mate. I'm just an advocate that has.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking you might be Nick, and then I was like, oh my god, if that's Nick, I couldn't remember.
Nah.
Nick owes me money. No.
We should have had Nick on here. He's a massive basketball fan. I'm surprised he's not here.
Shout out to WT in the audience. I can see him. He's a big GOG fan.
Yeah.
So
did you have a question, bud?
Oh, sorry, I'm muted. I did, but I've kind of forgotten what I was going to talk about. About the what was we talking about again? Horse racing.
Passport.
The passport. Yeah. Who came out with the idea for the passport? Was that Robbie?
It'd be someone in his engineering team, one of the product managers for sure.
Actually, something that is interesting about like the Immutable passport is that while I was working at Scopely, I met Robbie, and this was early 2021, and he already had these like ideas about like that's why we chose Immutable even when they didn't have like almost no games, which they were very aligned with us on like onboarding mainstream gamers. And one of their first hurdles was the onboarding process in the wallet. They tried at the beginning. I don't remember with Magic Link and so on. But of course, it's still not the best route. No, so it's something that Robbie had already, and the Andrew Soro and all these guys who had already in their minds early on, and now they're finally putting it out there. No, slowly, but it's getting there.
Yeah. Did you have another question, Dr. Bitstein? Sorry, I just realized you only asked one question.
No. That was my main question. I really love the answers. I think I agree with all of you guys. I think that the key is really building a game that's just fun to play. And gamers clearly have an appetite to spend money in games. You look at the kind of money that FIFA and various other games pull in for assets that users can't do anything with. It's mind-boggling. So I was just curious for your strategy, how you're dealing with that, because there is like some pushback, like there was on loot boxes and microtransactions at the beginning. But yeah, I think your answers are great, and appreciate the feedback. Thanks.
Yeah, I feel that gamers clearly want something like you said. Like you look at in-game transactions for Counter-Strike, and these skins. Some of these skins are going for like $90,000. Like there was a knife open yesterday that's one of a kind. It's worth 90 grand. And there's no guarantee that if you sell that you're not going to get your account banned for doing so, because they constantly do things like that.
They constantly change the rules, move the goalpost, decide on where you can and can't sell it. It's just, that's what people don't understand how blockchain fixes that. It takes away the ability for the Web2 company to completely control the scenario like Valve does, and have banned many, many accounts before. So interesting. I think we're going to wrap it up soon. Did anyone else want to say anything else? We've got some giveaways to give away as well. And also want to tell people that this is going to be another event like this for Intersectional Sport with 4 more games. SimWin, MPL, Martian Premier League, Personal Corner, and Green Park Sports. And I think there's one other, I can't remember it off the top of my head. OBS, the car racing collector game. So keep an eye out. That will be in 2 weeks' time. A lot of American guests in that, so it might be a different time, but we'll see. But yeah, thanks for keep an eye out for that one. So how do you want to do the giveaways, guys? Do you want to do it after the event, or you've got a system to give away now, or because I can use a Twitter picker to get it organized and make sure there's no bots and do it in hindsight, or did you have a plan to get rid of get them out there now?